All right, let's talk about it. So yesterday was September 5th. So Chelsea and I, we were spending the last couple days with TauriReacts and her husband, and we went to NASA, and Tori's husband and I geeked out for about 2 hours, which was fun for us. And then afterwards, we went for ridiculous barbecue, like ridiculous Texas barbecue. We took them to a good spot, so much so that, yeah, like it was unbelievable to everybody. And then we went to a place called the Chocolate Bar, and we ate a piece of chocolate cake that was 11 inches tall, and that was also ridiculous. And then after that, we went to Cidercade and played video games and drank cider. It was a great Monday. It was a great Labor Day. But yesterday was really the big reason why we went to Houston, okay? So Tori and Chelsea dressed to the nines like we would expect them to. Chelsea was wearing her dark brooding fishnet leggings with some sort of evil spooky webby shirt, and her hair in a bun with, you know, how she does, you know, evil stepmom kind of Halloweenish kind of thing. And Tori was classic Tori, you know. She looked like she could easily be on the stage with Melissa Bonny, with, you know, Ombre, you know, with, well, maybe not with Nora Lohimo, but we'll talk about that next. I don't think anybody could be on stage with that woman. Okay, so we get to the venue, and House of Blues Houston is closed on Tuesdays, by the way. Completely closed on Tuesdays. So that means the box office isn't open, the office isn't open, there's no one there. So you have no idea who is where anywhere is at all. So we were trying to find a place to hang out until we found out what was going on. Now, let me give you the gist of what was going on. Originally, the plan was from Napalm Records. Tori and I were going to be guests of Kamelot and of Kamelot and of Xandria specifically. And we were going to be I was supposed to be scheduled to interview Marco, and also Tori and I were kind of put together to possibly interview Thomas YOUNGBLOOD, who is the lead guitarist and founder of the mighty Kamelot. That was the plan, okay? Now, those of you who have been on my channel long enough, you know that these artists work really hard. It's a lot of long miles that you travel when you are on tour, especially in the United States. And this was the 4th or 5th to last date of this tour. So they've been on the road for a good 3 to 4 weeks. They've been on the road for about almost a month. And Tori and I had talked to the tour manager, and his name is Roger. And you're going to hear Roger's name a lot. And I want to make sure that everyone hears Roger's name, okay? Because it's very important. Because Roger, you're an amazing, amazing hard worker. I don't know how you do what you do and keep up with what you do, but you did a pretty damn good job, sir. And Tori and I agree with you. And it's not just Roger, but it's everybody. So we get to the venue, and Tori's husband finds a Mexican restaurant that is open, attached to the same building as the House of Blues. So we go in there. So so Tori's husband, Tori and Chelsea, they duck in there. And I am trying to find somebody to tell me where we need to go, what we need to do, because we don't have anything on us. We don't have tickets. We don't have passes. We have nothing. All we have is an email from Napalm Records saying, your names are on the list. You're going to have this, 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 and this. You got it taken care of, and we need you to do an interview if you're up to it. Okay, that's what we went there under the premise of. Now, here's the thing. Look at me when I tell you this, okay? And this is not a joke. when that happens, I never anticipate or expect or demand anything. Because being on the road is, you never know what's going to happen. And the things that could happen can change on a dime. Okay? So having said that, let's get into the situation. So I had messaged Marco, the gentleman playing the guitar right there on the screen. And I said, how you doing, buddy? How's everything going? He goes, it was a long night, long drive. We made it to Houston. We got to go someplace. We got to do some paperwork. Whenever we come back, I'll give you a message. Thank you, Marco. No problem, right? Now, a lot of you have seen me do the interview with Marco a few months back. So I know what the guy looks like. Remember that thought, okay? So I go park the car and I'm walking around trying to find someone that's on staff to at least tell me what time do they open, you know? And both Tori and I had messaged Roger about this point, and he said, as soon as I have everything set, I will let you know. And he said, by the way, Roger has said that, hey, your interview is going to be with Thomas. And we're like, whoa, we weren't expecting that. Like, it would be Thomas Youngblood to interview. He says, I'll let you know as soon as we have everything together. And he said, I have your names on the lists and you'll have all that stuff at the box office, whatever. That's what he's supposed to do, right? Fair enough. Problem is the box office isn't open because no one's at House of Blues because they're closed on Tuesdays. Okay? Now, here's the stuff that you don't know and the stuff that we didn't know at the time. Okay? They had a problem with one of the buses. They've been struggling with a bus issue on one of the two buses on the tour for a few days. They were hoping to get it fixed. They had got to Houston a little later than they anticipated, and when they got there, House of Blues is closed. But luckily, they were able to get the load-in crew to let them in, and they can start loading up because there's a lot to set up. And if you've been to one of the Kamelot shows on this tour, you know that Kamelot shows up with everything. All of it. Like, all their stuff, okay? So, also behind the scenes, a lot of you know, okay, if you've been following it on social media, the drummer of Kamelot, his name is Alex, okay? He is now the brand new dad of twins. Congratulations to you and to your family. Awesome, awesome, awesome news. But he's on tour in the US. And how, it's not like this isn't like it's, you know, this isn't exactly Willie Nelson's traveling band where they're playing 3-count country music. It's Kamelot. You can't just, well, that guy can play the drums, right? Yeah, but you have to know Kamelot's set. You have to play to that level. So luckily they knew someone from Sweden who knows all the drum parts, who can sit in, step in, and handle the problem. How do you get that guy from Sweden to here? At the same time, how do you get a flight for Alex to go home and be with his family? Not exactly easy to do when you don't know which city you're going to be in when the visa or the tickets or the drummer can actually fly in, because you got to be able to go, right? This falls on Roger and Thomas, okay? Because Thomas is, of course, Kamelot's manager as well as the founder of and guitarist of the band. They're doing all this stuff behind the scenes. So we also know that we found out the replacement drummer showed up that day via airplane while Alex is trying to fly out to Sweden. All at the same time, while they're trying to load up, while they're trying to go into a venue that is very small. The idea behind the House of Blues in Houston is that it's downtown in a smaller building that goes vertical rather than horizontal. So everything is kind of tightly packed. So they're trying to scramble and do all this stuff. So I can't find anybody. And I realized that I just need to go back to the restaurant and we'll wait to hear something. Because here's the thing. There's no point in blowing up Roger's phone. He's busy. There's no reason to send emails to Napalm Records who sent us the invites because they can't do anything. And we're trying to be very humble and gracious because We're just lucky for this opportunity. So you got to remember, when you get invited to do something like this, to do an interview, to go to the show, to be a guest of the band, because you've done great reactions and you love them and they appreciate what you do, it goes hand in hand. You still have to respect the fact that they're on the road. This is their job. They're away from their families. It's a very difficult situation, right? Okay, so I'm walking to the restaurant and I pass by one of the buses. As I'm coming up to a bus, a guy walks around the corner with a full brownish red beard, and his hair, shut up, Tori. His hair is tied back into a bun. And in doing so, he looks extremely young, like younger than me. He looks nothing like the Zoom call that we had 2 months ago. Walk up right up to Marco. How's it going? He goes, oh, how's it going? Da, da, da. And he obviously knows who I am, but I'm just thinking that, well, maybe he knows who I am because he knows the channel. I thought it was one of the road crew because he looked super young. He looked really young. So we're talking, and he's like, so what do you got going on today? I said, well, we're going to go grab some food. He goes, oh, we're so hungry. We haven't even had breakfast yet. And he's talking about breakfast. By the way, it's 1 o'clock. He's talking about breakfast. And he's like, ooh, I would love some tacos. I said, I'll tell you what, I don't have anything today. I know we're supposed to be getting with Roger, the tour manager, and we're supposed to have a conversation with Thomas. And I'm going to be talking to Marco later. I literally said that statement to Marco's face. Anyway, Tori and Chelsea and Tori's husband had a good laugh at my expense because not only am I bad with names, I'm also apparently bad with faces and people to their face. So Marco I guess he just kind of ignored that because, you know, whatever. Or maybe he didn't, I don't know. Maybe he was just being gracious. So I said, hey, listen, get a hold of the guys. If anybody wants to eat, we'll go tell them that you guys are coming. He's like, oh, thank you so much. I go to the restaurant and I'm in a panic, right? Because as I'm walking to the restaurant, I'm reminding myself what Marco looks like, and then I'm trying to remember what would Marco look like without his hair tied back. And so I imagine what this guy would look like if his hair is hanging down, and I realize, damn it, I just said, hey, I just did not recognize him. He looked ridiculously young. Ridiculously young. So I sit at the table, and you can ask Tori. She'll tell you, I was in a panic. I was like, oh my God, I'm on my phone, right? And I'm desperately looking for pictures of all the members of Xandria, all the members of Battle Beast, all the members of Kamelot to make sure of who it could be. And Tori's like, well, is it this guy? Is it this guy? Is it this guy? And then finally, I'm like, nope, it was Marco. And when I said, no, it was definitely Marco, they all bust out laughing at me. And I don't blame them. If it was me, I would be tearing me apart too. At the same time, they walk into the restaurant and it's Marco, also the bass player and the other guitarist of Xandria. Okay, the drummer's not there yet. Okay, he wasn't with them. They sit down and I said, Marco, I am so sorry, I didn't recognize you. He goes, dude, don't worry about it, it's okay. I said, your hair was back and you look like a young roadie with your hair back. He goes, well, thank you. So he sits down, they sit down and they get the chips, the salsa, and they're looking at the stuff and he's like, ooh, I'd love some tacos for breakfast. And then the drummer shows up. About the same time, I'm looking at Tori's husband and I'm looking at Tori and Tori's looking at Chelsea and I'm like, should we pay for their food? And Tori's husband's like, fuck yeah, we should definitely pay for their food. So I went and I got the waiter and I told the waiter, hey, see those guys over there? Those 4 guys? Their food bill comes to us. So Tori and her husband paid half their bill. We paid half their bill. because we just thought it'd be nice to do, you know, because they've been on the road. We know that they're late. They're like, we got to hurry up and eat real fast because we've got sound check. We're running late. So, you know, all those little things, right? So they're eating and everything. They get done eating and they get up to leave and they're like, oh, we got to go. But they kept looking for the waiter. They're looking for the server. They're just like, they keep looking. And Tori's husband goes, guys, we already paid for it. And the other three members, not Marco, but the other three members of the band, they're like, oh, okay. And they look at their phones and then they leave because they're late. But Marco's not leaving. And I told Marco, we took care of it. And I don't think that it translated between what we say in the United States when we say we took care of it. I don't think it clicked to him that we paid for his food. So he's like, oh, okay, cool. And he's still standing there. And I'm like, Marco, we paid for your meal. You can go. And he's like, no. Like, yeah, absolutely. It's the least we could do. And he's like, man, thank you so much. He was like, no. And he was like, man, thank you so much. I was like, go. And I was like, go to your sound check. Have a great sound check. We'll catch you a little bit later. He's like, absolutely. So they're all huddled in the restaurant for another hour while we wait to hear back from Roger. And we found out that the box office opens at 6. The doors open at 7, and the first artist goes on at like 7:30, 8 o'clock or something, right? So I come around the outside to go back up to the box office to ask someone who I would talk to about getting our stuff, because I still have my camera bag with my lighting, my tripod, my cameras, my microphones, everything to do an interview with Thomas and Marco. I get up and as I'm walking around the corner, Eero comes around the corner. Eero's the bass player from Battle Beast, and I recognize him. I'm like, dude, are you okay? He's like, I'm late for sound check and I can't even find the door. And I went, dude, come with me. I brought him to the elevator, and we were talking. He goes, dude, I love your reactions. And I said, dude, I'm so excited to see Battle Beast. I talked to Nura like 2 years ago, and we're finally getting a chance to see you guys. And he was like, dude, we're pumped to be here. We're so excited. And he goes, did you bring one of those plates? And I said, did I bring the plates? And I opened up my bag and I pulled out the Battle Beast plate and the Kamelot plate and the Xandria. I said, yep, this is for you guys to send whenever y'all get a chance. And he's like, I'll take them now. I mean, we're all doing sound checks, so I could probably pass them around, get everything signed. And I'm like, Eero, you're the man. So number one, Eero from Battle Beast, thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate you doing that for all of us. He made sure that Tori's posters that she had done were signed, and he got the plates for the wall done. So thank you, Eero. Thank you for that. Now, we finally get to the box office. See, we're still playing Xandria because we haven't even gotten to the show yet because they opened the show. So get to the box office, and they do have my name. And in the name, they have these stickers that are made out of cloth, and they say Kamelot guest with the date. And I was like, do you know where I go for, because I'm supposed to meet someone, And she goes, I don't have access. And the woman in the box office, it's not her job to know where the tour manager is. It's not her job to know anything. She's just handling the box office. So she tried, and thank you for that. So when I talked to Roger, I said, listen, there's this little pass, but it has no ticket attached to it. It's got no band, no access, no nothing. It just says guest, and I don't know. I don't know if they were what we're supposed to do. And that's when he says, I'm not there. I am at the airport. So I'm not even at the venue right now. But things are going a little weird today. And that he didn't say that they were trying to get Alex home that day. We didn't find that out until the show, until Kamelot came on stage. They announced that Alex went home to be with his brand new babies. But that's where he was, okay? So Roger's trying to take care of his artist and get the replacement drummer through customs into the United States to the venue so he can cover, so they can still do a show. So he's like, just let her know who you are. I said, I've already done that. I said, look, don't worry about it. Take care of your business. We'll be here when you get back. And I wanted to make sure that Roger knew we're not demanding anything. We're not telling him that we're mad or no, we're not, none of those things. We just want to make sure we're okay and that we're not interfering with anything. So the stage manager comes out, okay? And he comes out, super great guy. And he's like, hey, I'm the stage manager. I'm the road manager for the stage crew. He goes, what is your name? And I said, I gave him my real name. And I said, I was supposed to do like an interview with Thomas. I was scheduled for an interview with Thomas and something with Marco, but we don't even have a way to get into the building yet. And I have all my gear, and they're not going to let me bring all my my microphones, my lighting, my tripods, my mount for my camera into there unless I have a pass that says I'm press or whatever. It's like, I'll take care of all that. Don't worry about that. So he gets me and Tori each a photo pass, which comes in handy later, by the way. Our photography passes, because we're content creators on YouTube. Those were on the list. So we find out from Roger that there's no way that we're going to be able to do the interview with Thomas because Thomas is overwhelmed with everything going on. And 100%, we wound up talking to him afterwards, and I'll tell you about that. It's totally fine. So we get inside, okay? And the House of Blues in Houston has a very, very special staff member. And I made sure that I put in a comment card for him, but his name is Kyle. And Kyle, if you ever see this video, you are the ultimate host, the ultimate solid guy at the House of Blues Houston. You are outstanding. You are amazing. He remembered me from the Bandmade concert last year. He remembered me. And he was like, dude, weren't you here with the girls from Japan? I was like, yeah. He's like, dude, come with me. I got you. And I'm like, okay. So remember, Roger's not there to make sure that our names are where we're supposed to be so that we know where we're supposed to go. But the guy remembered me from the Bandmade show and remembered where I was supposed to be from there. So he said, come with me. I got you. And Kyle took care of us. He got us our passes to where we had access to the building and everything we needed. And at that point, we're good. I messaged Roger. I said, look, the staff here at House of Blues took care of everything. Your stage manager took care of all the credentials. We are golden. Don't worry about us. He's still trying to apologize. So sorry, everything kind of got crazy. And Tori and I are like, dude, you're fine. You're wonderful. You're taking care of your artist. You're making sure he can get home to his family. Do you really think that we're going to give you, I mean, really? Really? We're like we're going to be those people, right? Okay, so right, what kind of person would we be if we did that? So, okay, so we go in and we start checking out the merch tables and everything else, and they've got all the merch. Signed albums, t-shirts, the whole 9 yards. And we run into Marco again before the show starts. He wanted to make sure we were good. And I said, dude, thank you for everything you did. Thank you for coming out and meeting us. Thank you for having lunch with us and everything else. He's like, absolutely love the reactions. Love everything you guys do. And I can't wait to put on a great show for you. Cool. So he leaves to go start the set. Now, about this time, Kyle from the House of Blues and the road manager for Kamelot says, hey, do you have your photo pass? And I said, yeah, I have my photo pass on my shirt. He goes, okay, so if you want to take photos anywhere in the building, and if you need to get access to something, just let them know. You can do whatever you want. And I'm like, okay. And then Kyle goes, you know, the best place to get pictures is upstairs, and it's closed. But you have a photo pass, so you can go up there. So you can get on the rail and take angle pictures. So I'm like, really? So I let Tori know, we let Chelsea know, Tori let her husband know, and we all go upstairs onto the balcony. When we go up there, there's nobody up there except for two groups of people. Are you ready? There was a young man there who cannot stay standing. He has a degenerative back condition and he can't stay standing. So he has to be seated. Well, if he's seated at a standing room only show, right? So the House of Blues was gracious enough to say, here's a special tag because you're ADA, Americans with Disability Act. We're going to put you on the elevator. We're going to let you sit in the balcony because the balcony has theater seats. So he can see the show. There won't be anybody standing in front of him and he can sit down. House of Blues, that was freaking cool. Good job. Okay? But we also went up there. There was another group of people up there. I'll let you know who they are right here. There's a band from Houston. Okay? All right, there's a band from Houston. A little, you may have heard of them. I've done a couple reactions to them. They're called Oceans of Slumber. Yeah. Oceans of Slumber was there. And, but they were there as fans. They're huge fans of all three of these bands. So Kemi was there. Members of the band were there. Super great people. So check this out. So we're looking at Kemi. She's sitting upstairs. Then Xandria comes out. All right. Aubrey was everything she is in these videos. Every pose, every swoop of her hands, every movement, every note. It was blissful. It was beautiful. Tori did shed tears. I got a pretty good shot of us hanging out upstairs watching it from up top. Great visualization. We're maybe 25 feet away. And remember, 25 feet away from the stage is a very important distance later on in this video. So Xandria puts on a set, all of these shots, all of these videos, all these songs. They hit them one after another, after another, after another. Unbelievable set. Amazing set, okay? So when they were done with their set, they changed up, and then the next up was Battle Beast, okay? And I really want everyone to understand something, okay? The lineup in this concert, there were literally, and I told Tori this, and I redid my math. There were literally 5 world-class vocalists in the building at the same time. 5 world-class vocalists. You had Cami from Oceans of Slumber in the balcony hanging out and watching. You had Aubrey come out and just make everyone just go, wow, right? The security guards were like, they were like buying cassettes. They had the little Battle Beast cassettes, and one of the security guard bought one because he was like, that woman up there is amazing. And he's right. So I know some of you have seen some of my social media posts. I will be filming a reaction to the video I shot literally 4 feet away from Nurulohimo. I was I was closer to her on stage as I am to that camera right there. That's how close I was. Because we used the photo pass, I got between the rail and the stage, and I literally put my camera on the monitor and was like, I do need to email you all those. I sent you a lot of them, Tori. But, okay. So Nora comes up. She's got her hair as Valkyrie horns. She's weaved them up and done them up. Her makeup is perfect. Her outfit is just incredible. The stockings, the boots, the little flask of potion on her hip, her armor, it is just, and here's the thing, all that look, it don't mean a damn thing until, and when she opens her mouth, you're like, okay, there are times when you go to see a live band there's always like something that's a little different in the live show. Either the music is so loud that the vocals don't echo as much, or they're not as full, or the vocals gets drowned out by the loudness of the show. This did not happen. Understand, I filmed it in front of the monitor, and if you go to my the story on my Instagram and go to my epic things, you'll see her singing. You'll hear her singing the song. I'm in front of the monitor. I'm up against the monitor, and you could hear her crisp. Like, I know, and okay. And this is nothing. Okay, please understand. Ombre was amazing. Melissa, Bonny, and Tommy for Kamelot were incredible. And if Cammy and Oceans of Slumber got up on that stage, she would kill this. But I'm telling you right now, Nurluhimo put on a performance that shocked me. You hear me? Shocked me. I was standing there. Like, after Eye of the Storm, I walked away from the stage, between the barrier and the stage. I walked off, and Eero was talking to people, and I said it out loud. I'm like, holy shit, these guys are good. And he heard me, he laughed. He's like, yeah. Because he heard me say it. I kind of said it a little bit too loud. And every song, I mean, there was so much energy. And I mean, I've seen videos of her doing live performances at like Vakken and stuff, and her movements in these videos. You would think these performances on these videos are big. She's double that on a live show. And not just her, all of them. I mean, every member of Battle Beast was just showing out, man. Like literally just showing out. And it was incredible. So Battle Beast really set the tone. And I gotta tip my hat to every member of Battle Beast, because their music was so upbeat and so just that classic Finland, Swedish. I'm really looking forward to Amaranth next month, because it's similar in that vibe to that, because it's got just that roll to it. Battle Beast wraps up, okay? And they finish out. And I looked at Tori and I said, you know, it's gotta suck to be any band that follows Battle Beast, because they're that good. Remember I said that. That's another thing I want you to remember that I said. And Tori's like, yeah, but Tommy's coming up next. And I said, you're right. You're absolutely right. And he's got Melissa with him. So yeah, obviously they're going to be fine. But Battle Beast was that good. Okay. So we get to, let's get over to Kamelot now. So Kamelot gets ready and they get ready to do their thing. And I'm not joking. All the theatrics are there, the smoke machines, the lighting, and everything. And I have a video where you see Melissa pointing at the camera, and she does like this, and she pulls over and she starts doing the clap. Okay. Everything that you've seen in videos, like this video here, with the movements of Thomas and the movements of Tommy and all the members of Kamelot, there's a level of majesty, of mystique, of showmanship and performance that the band really brings forth. Thomas is walking on and off the stage, not to the side, to the front. He's stepping on a tour box that's wobbly as fuck. And he's stepping out because he wants to touch every person out there. And he's not the only person, right? So they start their set, and Melissa's in the back, okay? Now here's the thing. I want to say this real quick. And Melissa was an absolute goddess on stage, subdued. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll explain it to you. She's out there in a bodysuit that looks like something Beyonce would wear. Why? Because it appears to have 47,000 crystals on it. Right? It is just this glistening star-filled sky of an outfit. And she's on the riser behind Tommy, the lead singer. And every movement that she does reminds you of an Ad Infinitum video. The way she moves her arms, it's like she's swimming and she's not in the water, right? And she's moving gracefully like an angel through everything. And she's doing it in a way that I'll explain at the end of the video when we talk about Thomas and what he told us. That's perfect. At no time did Melissa ever come out in front and upstage Tommy. She never came out and upstaged the band. You could tell that she knew that she was a part of what was going on, but she was there to support Kamelot. Her job was to support them. She never went out and diva'd. She was always in the back. Now, there were a lot of iterations where her and Tommy were doing this back and forth stuff as part of the theatrics, as part of the storytelling, and it was perfect. But Melissa was perfect in the way that she knew that her job was to compliment Tommy and never upstage him. That was something that I caught just watching her from the stage. She still made she would look at people individually and she would wave to them. And anytime somebody would wave to her because they knew her as Melissa Bonny from Ad Infinitum or from The Dark Side of the Moon or from any collaboration she's been in, she would wave or whatever, but she would always go back and she knew her spots. She knew exactly when there was going to be a guitar solo, a drum solo, a keyboard solo, or Tommy was going to do something awesome, because she would always step to the side and point to them. Step to the side and make everyone go, look at me, now look at them. She was perfect at it. Oh, and she's also an incredible vocalist. And she would go back and forth with Tommy the whole set, every song. But she would disappear. She'd go off stage for a song because it was an older Kamelot song that she didn't have a part in. Fine. She would disappear. And you know what she did? She was messaging Tori and me from the side stage. Hey guys, glad you guys are here. You guys are gonna be like, you know, are you guys gonna be like coming and seeing, like literally, like, like, she would go off to the side stage and she would message us. And what I didn't realize was that we were up in the balcony. So if you're looking at if you look at pictures on social media from Battle Beasts and stuff, where they're taking pictures with the crowd, if the pictures are with the lights up, you'll see me and Tori and Chelsea and Robin by ourselves on one side, and like 3 people on the other side. Yeah, that's Oceans of Slumber on the other side. So it's just us. And she would message us. She's like, hey guys, how are we doing? So great to see you guys. Hey, and then Melissa says this is my favorite part. She just got off stage. They're not done. She's gonna come out and sing like 3 more songs. She steps off stage. I don't even know where she kept her phone in that bodysuit, but she found her phone. And she's like, hey guys, I see you and Tori are here. Would you guys be willing to wait around? And I'd love to meet you guys after the show. Would it be too much trouble? What? What? If Melissa Bonny just says she wants to meet you, you don't leave. You don't leave. And I'm like, sure, as long as it's not too much of an imposition. And then she comes back out and I'm like, holy crap. I was just messaging her. She was backstage. And then, yeah, so yeah, that was something. So, and she kept, and every time she'd do something and she'd point to the crowd and she'd put her hand up and she'd point at Tori and she'd look up at us and smile and then come back to the crowd. She knew we were there. So much so, remember when I told you to keep track that we were 25 feet from the stage? Ah, here we go. This is a confirmed fact. This is not a lie. This is not made up. This actually happened. Okay. End of the set, end of the show. Come back, do the encore. Thomas, amazing. Tommy, amazing. Every member of Kamelot just freaking tore the roof down. The crowd was on their feet the whole time with the arms up. End of the set, they're all shaking hands, throwing pics and everything. Melissa looks up, points at Tori, reaches down, grabs a set list, and crumples it up and throws it to Tori. And misses by 8 feet. She hits the balcony edge, and it goes down, and she's like, oh. But she's not done, because Melissa Bonny does not fail. No, she just tries again. She goes down to the stage, and she crumples up another paper, another set list, to throw it to Tori. But this time, I realized she just needed a target. So I put my arms like this. I made a hoop with my arms right in front of Chelsea's face. Right in front of Chelsea's face, and Tori is pointing at the circle. Melissa sees it, and she just throws as hard as she can. God as my witness, Tori will back me up, and she's unimpeachable as a witness. She shoots, she scores, nothing but net. The set list goes right in the ring, hits Chelsea right in the head. She's like, what the hell's going on? And when it goes to the hoop, we look down on the stage, and she's on stage looking at us. The crowd's chanting, yay, Melissa. And she's looking at us, and this is Melissa. This is what we see. Oh my God, what? She's just like, she literally like, the absolute disbelief on her face when she hit that. She was like, oh my God. And I messaged her, I said, Morton's never gonna believe that you made that shot, her husband. And she goes, oh my God, I wish somebody had taped that. I was like, sorry, we were too busy having fun with it. So this song, New Babylon, was amazing. Every song on the set was amazing. Now, because it's a school night and a work night, it was a Tuesday, everybody cleared out of there fast after the show. I mean, like we looked around and it was empty. Everybody was gone. And we were waiting for Melissa. And I looked over at the Kamelot merch table, and I look over at Tori, and I'm like, Tori, Thomas is right there. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, you should go talk to him. And she's like, she looks at her husband, she goes, you're coming with me, right? He's like, absolutely. So they go talk to Thomas. Now, here's the thing. Now, Tori doesn't want me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's my reaction, it's my channel, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. Isn't that right, Tori? Right? I mean, she knows.
Fuck.
So, so Tori goes over, and she talks to Thomas, a man who created a band that has literally touched her life for years. Like, this band is very important to her. Seeing Kamelot for Tori was like the first time that I saw Rush. It's a band that she absolutely loves. So as she's talking to him, I can see she's just gloriously lit up. She's so excited. And then after about 5 or 10 minutes, I walked over to introduce myself because I didn't want to interrupt her moment, but I did want to say thank you for your time and thank you for everything. I walked up, and I want to say this. I know that there are a lot of rock stars and metal stars that you hear about. Lars Ulrich could be one. Axl Rose. We've all heard the different stories. Like, the old grizzled veteran metal stars, rock stars are unapproachable. They're usually a-holes, whatever. Look at the camera, look at me. Thomas YOUNGBLOOD is the most gracious, humble, most genuine, loving person that I've ever met in his position with his much skin in the game. I've met a lot of artists who are young, hungry, and it's all new to them. Thomas has been in the game and he's met millions of people in his life who are fans of his music. He sat there and he talked to Tori, he talked to me, he talked to us about this. You know what he talked about? He talked about how awesome the crew was. He talked about how awesome the musicians were. He talked about how awesome the fans are for him. He talked about how excited he was for the next shows. And then he goes off and he goes, and then we start talking about the other bands. He's like, Battle Beast, I love them. He's like, Battle Beast makes us better. He's like, yes, Neuralihimo is that good. They are that good. That's why we want them. We want them right before us because when they come out, the crowd expects us to be awesome, and we have to be. Because if we don't go out there amazing, we'll get like, he's like, I want them that good because it makes us that good, and they are. Then he says some of the most sweet, touching things about Melissa I've ever heard anybody say. Because this is a guy who's had so many collaborations with female vocalists for his band. I mean, you name them. Some of the best symphonic metal female vocalists have worked with Kamelot through the years. And his favorite thing about Melissa was that she is the easiest vocalist, he says, he's ever worked with. She's so easy to get along with. She's so humble. She's so, like, on the road, she's so helpful. She's like no drama. She will do anything. She will just, whatever needs to be done, she's there. He's like, he goes, if she's available, I want her. That's what he said. He says, if she's available and the schedule lines up, I'm always picking her. Melissa, that's really high praise. When you have someone who has worked with so many amazing female vocalists that you know, and he's like, if I have the choice, I want Melissa every time. Because he really feels like you make them better. And yeah, he invited us to come to the show in Florida. And Thomas was just an amazing guy. And then we thanked him. We said goodnight. Thank you so much for everything. He apologized that he couldn't come to an interview with us. Are you freaking kidding me? It's Thomas Youngblood. If he doesn't want to do an interview, he didn't have to do an interview. He apologized to me that he couldn't make it because of the stuff that was going on. I looked at him and I said, Thomas, you took care of your artist. You took care of your crew. That's what matters. We're just happy to be here. And he's like, I really appreciate that. And for everything that we did that day, the show, the meet and greets and everything else, it was the conversations with the artists, with the crew, with tour management, where when Roger showed up, when he got that drummer there and he's like, he came up to me, he goes, dude, I am so sorry. At the end of the show, he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. Then I was like, dude, don't. You're doing your job. Your artists and your crew come first. We are just guests. He goes, I know, but I wanted to see. That's the thing. What I'm saying, Roger, his crew, everybody on that crew, every artist, were so giving and so grateful. And Tori and I were just like, why are they telling us? Why are they apologizing to us? Like we make reactions and we promote their stuff, but we're not like it. It felt weird that they would apologize to us, but that's the kind of amazing people that are on this tour. That's from the top down, from Roger and Thomas, from the tour, from the manager and the founder of Kamelot, and Roger, the tour manager, all the way down to the photographer, merch people, and the people at the door, everybody. Like we walked out of there shaking, like everyone was so amazingly nice. And then he goes away and we told him thank you again, and he invited Tori and all of us to come out to the Florida show. It's their homecoming show, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make that one. I got to go back to work to pay for this one. No joke, here comes Melissa. She just comes skipping out from the back. She's so excited. Still perfectly make-upped, but now she's in like a hoodie and some stretch pants, and she's good to go. And our buddy, our channel friend, Brandon, okay? This is weird. You guys may know Brandon from the channel, okay? Brandon was the guy that we met at the Dragon Force concert last year with Brock. He was by himself, and we just put him in VIP with us. I swear to God, Brandon has been to every concert in Houston that I've been to, and I run into him every time. Well, we ran into him this time because he was Melissa's special guest as a member of her Patreon. So she wanted to meet, she was meeting Brandon, and Brandon's there. I'm like, Brandon, what the hell are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm meeting Melissa cause I'm on her Patreon. And I went, of course you are, Brandon. So interestingly enough, you guys know that I always have my Ad Infinitum record behind me up on the shelf right there. I usually have that Ad Infinitum record there. It's not here. I brought it with me to Houston just in case. And Melissa signed it. And Brandon's taking it with him because he's going to the Prog Power Fest in Georgia. All the rest of the members of Ad Infinitum are going to be there. He's going to get him to sign the rest of the album, so I'll have it. Thank you, Brandon, for that. That was so amazing. So we met Melissa. She was super sweet, super gracious. She met Chelsea. She was excited about that. Chelsea was excited to meet her. What's really cool is, as excited as Tori was, and Chelsea was, and I was, Tori's husband geeked out the whole time. He's like, they are so good. Like he couldn't wrap his head around how amazingly talented everyone was. And the thing about it is I felt the same way. I just hit it better than he did. Like I was like, and the thing about it is, I've had an interview with Nora. I've had an interview with Marco. I've talked to these people personally, but to see them perform to the level that they do still just freaks me out, right? So we meet Melissa, we take some pictures. I make that funny little video to Hans Plotz saying that now I'm doing Dark Side of the Moon Pokemon. So I collected my first Pokemon, Melissa Bonny, and I have to collect Morton, her husband. And after that, all I have to do is get Hans and Ginny Doll to get the full Dark Side of the Moon Pokemon set, and I'm gonna catch them all. So that was fun. So yeah, so everything about, and I mean everything about the show was amazing. And Tori and her husband were so amazing. They put up with me. You know how hard it is to put up with me? You think I'm bad on camera? Holy shit. I mean, really. I'm so difficult to be around because this never stops. Like, I'm like this all the time. I'm always excited. I'm always pumped. And Tori's husband doesn't help me. He makes me worse because he likes the things that I like. And you put both of us at NASA, and it was painful. It was like Chelsea and Tori sat down on a bench and watched Tori's husband and I geek out over the Saturn V rocket for 20 minutes. And they just took pictures of us and laughed because it's fun. So to Tori and her husband, thank you so much for coming out. We were more than happy, more than honored. We were excited to take you and your husband to your first trip to NASA, to take you to eat amazing Texas barbecue, to go get some amazing chocolate cake, to go see this amazing show. And it was worth every moment of it. And I'm gonna say this one last time before the end of this video. To Thomas and to Roger, from both of you, all the way through the crew, thank you for being amazingly professional under a hard day in the Texas heat. And how many times did you guys apologize to us that you guys didn't have everything perfectly laid out for us? Are you kidding me? You guys were incredible. To every member of Kamelot, Melissa Bonny, every member of Battle Beast, special shout out to Eero, to Marco and everyone of Xandria. You guys perform like that every single night. Right now in Dallas, right now as we're speaking, Xandria is going on stage. I'm filming this live on Twitch, and right now I'm looking at the time. Xandria is going on stage right now for the Dallas show. And those people in Dallas are going to see what we saw last night, and they're not ready. Amazing. To Napalm Records, to the team over there, thank you so much for the opportunity to get to see these bands up close. And even today, Napalm was like, "We're so sorry you didn't get to interview." I'm like, "Okay, if we have one more person apologize because we had such an amazing night, I'm gonna freak out." But they thought it was funny that I was like, "Stop apologizing. Everything was wonderful." And Tori and I both sent emails to Napalm today, telling Napalm, the label, how amazing their artists and their crew and the tour people and everyone was, how everyone does. And I will 100% be sending an email to Nuclear Blast for how amazing Battle Beast was for us. So that's all gonna happen. I'm doing that tomorrow. That's my quick rundown. That's an hour long. Hey, don't give me crap. I was able to take 2 days of nonstop craziness and put them into a 56-minute video. That's actually really short for me. If we went by the regular old school nerd ratio of talking versus content, this video should technically be 7 days long. So you're welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate this so much. And one last time to everyone involved on that tour, from artist, management, crew, everyone. Incredible. Incredible tour. And now in 1 month, we're going to pack it up and we're going to go see, we're going to go see Dragon Force and Amaranth and Nanowar Steel. And I'm going to tell them when I get there, I was like, listen, they set the bar. You better bring it. So, and I know they will, because every band that we do reactions to, they're amazing. So anyway, thank you guys so much. And with that, for Tori, yeah, you have Delaney Visions of Atlantis on Sunday. Lucky. You're so lucky. Yeah. Tell Marcus I said hi. All right, everybody. We'll see you later.